Hi everybody, this is Kia, and I'm Tom Green. Welcome to another episode of the Tom Green Farmcast. The Tom Green Farmcast is the interviews from my show, The Tom Green Farm, taken and put into a handy podcast format that you can listen to on iHeartRadio and watch here on Crave. Today on the show, we've got Stephen Page from the Barenaked Ladies. I love the Barenaked Ladies, and when I was a kid in my rap group, Organized Rhyme, I got to meet Stephen Page, who was one of the founding members of the group, of course, and we became friends, and it's been great to have him out here on the show this week. We are going to sit down and talk to him about the legacy of the Barenaked Ladies, but you can also watch a lot more with Stephen Page if you go watch the show, The Tom Green Farm, on Crave. What do you want, Kia? Wait, Kia, what do you want? Kia, hi. This is Kia. She's a donkey. So this is what's going on. Basically, this is the podcast format broadcast called the Tom Green Farmcast, which are excerpts from the Tom Green Farm, my new show on Crave, only on Crave. Again, thanks for watching and for listening, and remember to go check out the Tom Green Farm over on Come on, stop it. She just wants to talk. She wants to hang out. Yeah. Okay, I'll come see you in a second. Okay. It's crazy around here. You never know what's going to happen around here on the Tom Green Farm. That's me, I'm Tom Green. Thanks for watching and listening. Kia. We've known each other for a long time, 1992 or something like that.
Yeah, I would say probably 92. Yeah.
Was that your second album that was out in 92?
First album.
Was that the cassette?
It was Gordon, so it was our first kind of proper studio album. We had the 5-song cassette before that in 91, and then 92 we got signed to Sire Records and put out our first real album.
So yeah, that's what I meant. I was like, the cassette was the first album to me, you know?
Yeah, for the diehards.
With If I Had $1 Million on it.
Yep.
Right. I was talking to your dad about that last night, about the cassette and how that all went down.
We had made previous tapes, like just on a 4-track cassette recorder in my parents' basement or Ed's parents' basement. But then we were going to go down to South by Southwest in 1991, and we thought, well, we should probably make a better demo tape, the one that sounds like how we sound now. We had a drummer now. Tyler was playing drums. Studio time was expensive. And studios in Toronto back then, particularly, did not really like music artists coming in. Like, they were largely trying to keep their studios clear for, like, jingles and TV and film work and stuff like
really?
that. Oh, yeah. They didn't like rock bands coming in.
Isn't that weird? Recording
weird.
Studios didn't like musical artists coming in.
Well, if it was like some, big band jazz thing who were going to, that's great. But it was kind of a very old-fashioned, kind of uptight world. Mm-hmm. So we found this one studio where we could rent it from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., where it was cheaper that way. We bought one reel of tape, which was about 20 minutes of tape, and recorded all night, and up to, like, we finished with Fight the Power by Public Enemy. Wow. Because we had like 1 minute of tape left and we didn't want to waste it. So we just played the song until the tape ran out.
Yeah.
And then we just put the same 5 songs on both sides of the cassette because it was like a demo we were going to hand out at South by Southwest. We went down to South by Southwest, which we were not invited to. Like, there's a Canadian showcase, and none of the Canadian labels liked us. They all thought we were like a novelty group. They were embarrassing. And again, it's because Canadian labels at that time they were afraid of everything. Like, they wanted things that looked or sounded like American or British bands that already existed. And we were just on purpose. We were so uncool that it embarrassed them. So we were like, "Hey, we want to do the Canadian showcase." And they said, "Oh no, we're full." But we said, "Okay, great. We'll see you down there." And we just loaded into a minivan and drove down to Austin with the double bass strapped to the roof of the minivan, and we just busked on the street like we would always do in Toronto too, and gave out our tapes wherever we could. And then one of the Canadian bands on the showcase got stopped at the border and had the wrong paperwork or whatever and couldn't get across the border, so they ran out in the street and said, "Could you guys play a set?" And we're like, "Yep." So that we were just always prepared to do that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing we did. When we got home from that trip, we still had a bag full of tapes, so we started selling them off the stage, and things were really starting to blow up for us in Toronto at that point, and just across Canada in general. So we got a call from Sam the Record Man, the big record store in downtown Toronto, saying, "We've had people asking for the Barenaked Ladies tape. we'll sell it for you on consignment if you want to bring some down. So, brought 10 down, and then like 2 days later they were gone. He said, can you bring us like a full box? So get a full box made, but we realized we couldn't afford to get them all duplicated. Like that was like too much of a cash outlay for us. We're making $200 a gig or whatever else, and splitting that 5 ways. And we were starting to get calls from shops outside of Toronto. So that's what my dad said. My dad, he was not a entrepreneur by trade. He was a school teacher. Mm-hmm. But he said, like, why don't I foot the bill for this, and I'll take a cut. Mm-hmm. And I think he never really expected it was going to grow, but it was his way of being able to kind of support our ambition. And then he started dealing with actually shipping them to the distributors and to the record stores and that kind of thing. And it just blew up. This 5-song cassette went gold in Canada, which was at that point was 50,000 copies. We sold 85,000 copies of this thing
and that's indie. So that didn't
totally indie.
Nobody was taking a cut other than your dad.
That's right. So it turned into this whole kind of business where other bands came to us and said, "How did you guys do this?" And we directed them to my dad. My dad ended up having for probably about 10 years a distribution company specializing in indie artists.
It was a yellow cover.
Yep.
And was it like a flower on it? Or
it was a flower growing, like coming out of a sandwich.
I guess the thing that is sort of kind of amazing about it is that was probably the first sort of viral indie thing that I recognized seeing as a kid. Viral. It was before the internet.
Sure.
You grew up in a world before the internet.
Do you remember the Speaker's Corner thing that we did? Like, the Much Music, City TV in Toronto used to have.
I remember Speaker's Corner. I'm sure I've seen you on that, yeah.
So that was like one of the first things that really blew up for us. It was right around that same time where we went into the booth and we'd cut down, because I think you had 1 minute or something, like, or 2 minutes for a loonie. Mm-hmm. You put the dollar coin in the slot, and then you can have this 2 minutes to film your rant or whatever it was. And we did a cut down version of Be My Yoko Ono, sang it, all 5 of us crammed into this booth. And then we got a call from Much Music saying, this is like, we've been dreaming for somebody to do this, and like nobody had done it before. And so they actually put that into rotation on their channel.
Okay, yeah.
Which they'd never done before. And we didn't have a video, so that became kind of our video for that song at that point. And that was like, I look at how things blow up on TikTok, for example, now, and it's like, that's if I was 18 now and starting a band, I think Ed and I would have so much fun with that medium.
What year did you leave the band?
2009.
Okay.
Yes.
You want to talk about that, or?
I don't mind.
Why did that happen?
Like, the short answer is we didn't want to be around each other anymore.
Right.
Which, like, I got divorced. I split with my first wife in 2007. Mm-hmm. And I had 3 young kids at the time. I mean, they're 3 grown adults now. But that was a lot. And I realized when that happened, I was 37, but I didn't know how to be an adult. I moved out of my mom's house into my wife's house. Like, I always had a tour manager to take care of me on the road. Had a new partner who was much younger than me. And we were just trying to negotiate how to live life. It took us a lot of time. So that was one thing. And then I got arrested for drug possession. Mm-hmm. And that was a huge deal. I mean, it was like a big scandal in the press here, particularly in Canada. Mm-hmm. And I think it was definitely embarrassing for me, but it was really embarrassing for the other guys.
Paul McCartney got arrested for drug possession.
Well, that's it. Yeah, exactly. I think what it was, people felt like somehow it made me a phony, like that I had been selling them a bill of goods about
because you guys had a squeaky clean image.
That's right. People like to see the downfall of somebody who looks like they've got it all together. I understand that now much better. More than anything, most importantly, was trying to maintain a relationship with my kids, learn how to navigate that stuff, figure out immigration stuff. Like, what does this do for our touring propositions? Mm-hmm. We would go to do a gig. Let's say we're flying to do a corporate gig in Orlando or something like that. They could fly from Toronto to Orlando. I'd have to drive to the Peace Bridge in Buffalo and get paroled into the United States, mm-hmm. and then fly from Buffalo to Orlando. And I'd show up and we'd do the gig together, and then we would leave separately. So we almost a year of us traveling to gigs separately from each other. Mm-hmm. And eventually you kind of realize you're not in the same band anymore. The charges were eventually dropped, and but I also did a whole bunch of kind of rehab type stuff and went into therapy quite seriously for the first time. While that happens, you're changing, right? And like, so the guys that you were 18 with when you're starting, you have a lot less in common with. But it seems like, okay, well, here we go. I'm going to go embark on my solo career now, and they can be Genesis and I can be Peter Gabriel, and we can both have our own careers and be equally big. And it doesn't work that way. It didn't work that way for me, and that was a big shock. I think I just thought I could kind of pick up where I was and just do the solo version of that. I think what also happened in the group creatively was, like, not only for the first chunk of our career, even though we were both lead singers, I sang lead on more songs and wrote or co-wrote more songs. Like, I was kind of more prominent. And then our biggest hit came along one week that Ed wrote. We both sang it, but it became kind of like, I think everybody kind of got this sense, oh, he writes the hits.
Yeah. Because it was a rap song more.
Yeah.
Kind of a sort of a rap hybrid type song.
Yeah, rap,
Chip,
rock.
Lady Chocolate, the Chinese, which is kind of like a Busta Rhymes.
Exactly. It was a tribute to Busta Rhymes, that line there. Some people, like, they discover it later and they go, hey, they ripped him off. But we actually were able to we saw him in the lobby of a hotel right before the album came out, and we're like, we wrote a song. It's a tribute to you. And he was very excited about it. So.
Yeah. It's hard too. Like, probably some competitiveness, right? When you're in a band with another two lead singers. Yeah. It's not normal to have two lead singers in most rock bands.
Right.
I was in a rap group, so we had Greg and I were. Yeah. I think we were competitive with each other.
Sure.
Greg went solo at one point, and he decided to go solo. So okay, shit. So I went back to school. I studied broadcasting at Algonquin and started a TV show. So it worked out. Because it's like the harmonization, the way you guys layered over each other. I mean, it's the sound of the Barenaked Ladies.
And I know that there are fans who are like, who.
It's the way your voice and Ed's voice.
That's right.
Because we did If I Had $1 Million yesterday.
It was awesome.
And I guess I did Ed's part, right?
Yep.
But it's sort of the way it layers together becomes what the sound is. So is there any chance you think that would the Barenaked Ladies ever get back together?
Well, I mean, the first thing I think about with that song, like that, the way it's sung, with like one guy sings one part, the other guy sings the other, that's exactly how it was written. Like, Ed had kind of written his part of the song and played it to me one day. So, like, I wrote the song, and I just started echoing his lines with the lines that I sing, and that kind of turned it into the song it is. And it kind of defines our writing partnership and also kind of our vocal partnership.
It's a bit like rap. So it's a combination of the two is incredible.
Yeah. A song like that, I was joking about it last night that I don't do it as part of my set, but I literally have not done it for years.
Really?
Because I felt like...
Is that ever cool? I did not know that when we did that.
I just started doing it. I've done it at a few gigs here and there.
Yeah, let's just pretend this is the first time you did it.
But this was the first time I did it at my own show.
Okay.
And I also just thought the sentimental part of me is like, well, we did a special thing. Like, that song's a duet. And people will say, can't you do $1 million? And it's like, well, it's more than just a song. It's a duet. And it's a duet that's so rooted in our, like, mine and Ed's sense of humor bouncing off each other. But to get to your question, I honestly don't think there's much of a chance of a reunion. We did... They inducted us into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame in 2018, and basically part of the deal was, if you want this, you gotta do a song together. And Ed called me. He was like, "What do you want to play?" And I think he was bracing for me to say, "I want to do one of my solo songs or whatever." And I said, "I think we should do 1 Week and $1 Million," because those are the two songs. Those are the two songs that I wasn't doing in my set, that I was kind of saving. And they're both duets, because I think, to me, in that era of the band, at least, the band is defined by the two personalities together. And we did that on the Juno Awards, and it was awesome. I thought it was great. But I think they don't want to do it. I don't think they want to work with me. And I've had to kind of be okay with that.
Really? Because it seems like it would be sort of a natural thing to kind of come back together.
I love what I do more than I've loved anything else I've done before. Like, I just feel the most comfortable with it, the most proud of it. But I know the legacy of Barenaked Ladies. I know what it means to other people.
Well, you know what? I believe it'll happen someday. Do you like the internet? Is it like?
I think it's useful. Yes, there are lots of things I like about it.
You like the internet?
I love exactly. You got it. I love the internet. That's perfect.
It's such a sort of a double-edged sword in a lot of ways, though, right? There was back in the 90s, you had to work really, really hard just to get any sort of stage.
Right, because there were gatekeepers who said, like, we're in charge of access to this stage, and now everybody has access, but the means of connecting with an audience, even though you might have the channel to do it, to find that audience and to have them find you feels like it's impossible sometimes. My ambition for the first half of my career was always about how big can you get and how long can you sustain that bigness. You know, like you hit those great, amazing milestones, whatever, sell out Madison Square Garden. Of course I'm proud of that. I'm proud of, like, whatever, playing the Royal Albert Hall or like playing these kinds of venues. But that's how I measured my success pre-COVID. Post-COVID, I realized my success is about being able to sustain a living that pays the bills. Like it's a very middle-class living I make now, but it's based on what I do for my small but really dedicated group of fans, and it's like I'm super proud of that.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome thing to be able to just keep doing this stuff after all these years.
Yeah, that's the thing I think I like that and maybe it is the COVID stuff that like pushed me into that place to kind of be able to be truly grateful for what I get to do. But it's look at what you've built here. It's that same thing of just being able to like enjoy the thing you're doing at the moment. Mm-hmm. That's a great gift.
When I was a kid, I loved David Letterman, and I dreamed of doing a talk show someday, and look, here we are in a gazebo in a field.
I wouldn't want it anywhere else. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to see a bear come out of the woods while I'm sitting here talking.
There are a lot of bears here.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, there are a lot of bears here. I see them on the trail cams.
I saw one at the camp. We do this camp at the Catskills. I saw one there last week.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
And so the camp at the Catskills is a music camp.
It's Stephen Page Summer Camp.
And you do this every year, or?
Hopefully. We've done it twice. We're planning on another one next year.
That is so cool.
Yeah, there's concerts every night. So Stephen Page Trio or the Trans-Canada Highwaymen or other guests that I have come and do concerts. There's open mics, there's jams, there's songwriting sessions.
That is cool. I'd like to come check that out.
You should come next year.
Yeah, that's amazing. Stephen, thank you so much for coming hanging out in the gazebo here with me.
Anytime, Tom. I would love to do this again.
Yeah, anytime. We will do. We will do it.
Love it.
Love it, man. Love you, man. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Awesome.
What did you think of that, Mom?
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
In the bumper, you could talk about your
It's my mom. My mom's the producer.
going to Bathhouse
My mom.
with
Hey, Kia, stop it.
Stephen.
What are you doing?
The show having your trip to Bathhouse and also to Peterborough too.
Yeah, it's the recording studio, the Bathhouse. We didn't go to a bathhouse together.
No, you didn't.
We could have. That would have been fun. Maybe
Well,
next season.
I don't know.
But no, we went to the Tragically Hip's studio, and it's where they recorded a lot of their albums. And we were fortunate enough to get to go record there ourselves. And if you want to see some of the music we recorded, you can tune into the Tom Green Farm. That's my show, my new show on Crave, where I have guests come up here to my farm here in rural Ontario, where I live with my wife Amanda, and we have a lot of fun here, entertaining all sorts of amazing people coming out to have some fun, some goofy farm fun, hang out with Kia the donkey, and do all sorts of amazing Canadian outdoor activities. So please tune in. I don't know if people tune in anymore, but tune in on Crave, stream on Crave, the Tom Green Farm, and check out the show. It sounds pretty professional, right?
I think that sounded really good.
Yeah. This is the Tom Green Farm. It's not the Green Tom Farm. This is my favorite farm because it is my farm. Welcome to the Tom Green Farm. My name is Tom Green.
Oh.
Here I am in my house out here in rural Ontario, Canada.
A house that was built in 1857.
How cool is this?
where we'll be doing a talk show trying to get Tony Danza.
Your dad can't hear you.
I heard you.
Who's the boss?
I
Get him
can't
up
hear
here.
you, but I can't remember either.
We're trying to get Tony Danza up here. Not in a television studio, but on a farm.
There's bears here, yeah.
Did you know in the gay community a bear is a thing?
I did know that,
Of
yeah.
course you do.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
If you build it, we might come.
Interviewing celebrities.
That was just one of the most memorable nights of my life.
That is intense. They look alien.
You had a freaky career.
Freaky.
I'm just falling in love again and again and again today.
Paraphrase por 2 minutes.
C'est capable de le faire?
Oh my God. It's my friend Dead Mouse.
We've lived off of the land so long as that land was able to sustain us. There's something very peaceful and magical about the first snowfall.
Driving along the road in the rolling hills, I'm like, I wish I could just run in those fields, but you never really do.
Gets the blood going, huh? Did you go on Conan dressed as a horse?
Centaur.
Come over here for fun and you get your hand bitten off, right?
This is the great joy of my adult life, is getting into horses.
Wow.
And I'm excited about all the people that we're going to present to you.
I know the legacy of Barenaked Ladies. I know what it means to other people.
Did I intimidate you with my skills?
Yeah.
I'm a seasoned professional.
You've been making television a long time.
Darth Vader's wiener.
Mr. Tom Green, how are you?
I've only been scared on one set.
Cheers.
This is the Tom Green Farm.